Engine number 1, the Woodsfield. The Ohio River and Western Railway started as the Bellaire and Southwestern Railroad in 1875, and before the 112 miles of narrow-gauge tracks stretched across southeastern Ohio, the railway purchased their first engine, number 1, the Woodsfield. This video will explore a brief history of this engine. In 1877, the future of the Bellaire and Southwestern Railway rested on the determination of a handful of local businessmen. Believing in the promise of a railroad connecting the Ohio River to the communities of southeastern Ohio and eventually Cincinnati, the company's principals invested their own money, loaning it back to the railroad to purchase its very first locomotive. That locomotive was built by the National Locomotive Works of Connellsville, Pennsylvania, and delivered by the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad to Bellaire in late November of 1877. Although no known photograph of the Woodsfield engine has survived, historians believe it likely resembled locomotives such as the Havana, Rantoul, and Eastern Railroad No. 3, a classic American 440 design similar to many built during the era. On a cool, damp autumn day, December 4th, 1877, the new locomotive was carefully placed onto the railroad's freshly laid 3-foot narrow-gauge track built with 35-pound iron rail. After final assembly and inspection, a head of steam slowly climbed. The whistle echoed through Bellaire, and with many curious townspeople gathered to witness history, engineer Patrick Sherry eased the throttle open. For the first time, the Woodsfield rolled under its own power, beginning the story of this narrow-gauge railroad. Very little documentation survives about engine number 1 after those early days. It was assigned to modest freight and passenger traffic as the line grew in length. For nearly a year, the Woodsfield carried the entire burden of the railroad operations alone until the arrival of engine number 2, the Bellsville. What we do know is the locomotive faithfully served the railroad for nearly 23 years. Then, in November of 1900, as newer and more powerful locomotives took over the expanding railroad's operations, engine number 1 was sold in running condition. Unfortunately, the historical record ends there. Where the Woodsfield went after leaving the railroad and what ultimately became of it remains a mystery. Though its final chapter has been lost to history, its importance cannot be overlooked. Thank you for watching. In our next episode, we'll explore engine number 2 and continue uncovering the fascinating history of the locomotives that powered the OR&W. If you enjoy preserving the history of Ohio's longest narrow-gauge railroad, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and consider supporting the Friends of the Ohio River and Western Railway Historical Society. Until next time, thanks for keeping history alive.